That's right. I'm back with another video. Heck, I gotta bring it out to y'all. I've been slacking. If you are new here, my name is Shaneria. This is Talking Crime. On this channel, we do reaction videos. Heck, if you like drama, if you like tea, if you just like to hear somebody else's story, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button, hype me up, and let's get started on today's reaction video.
Part 1 of how I lost my best friend of over 13 years because I was no longer fat. Let's talk about it. I never really wanted to talk about this because I value this friendship so much, but I'm gonna literally talk about the first time that I realized I was no longer fat and it was causing competition issues between us. So I briefly talked about this, but I'm gonna really thoroughly talk about the situation at brunch. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all gonna find out here. So the first time I realized I was no longer fat anymore because I had body dysmorphia was when I went to this brunch. My friend invited me to a brunch because she does certain work. I don't want to say what, but she got invited to do work at this event. All right, she brought me there as a +1. So it was a brunch event, so I decided to sit down and eat my brunch because I did not want to stop her in the midst of her working because I know she was a perfectionist, so I wanted her to get her pictures and everything she needed to do. So I sat by myself completely and I started eating brunch. A bunch of people started to join my table, just random people. They start introducing themselves, women and men. So all these people are randomly sitting with me. I'm having a conversation with all these people, and literally, lo and behold, a light-skinned man walks into the room. I see him. He's cute. I don't even like light-skinned men like that at the time. I really was a dark-skinned girl. But when I see him, I'm like, oh, he fine. I want to talk to him. And I used to do that all the time, but I did not really think I could talk to him because I had never had like a pretty light-skinned boy like talk to me when I was plus size. Just never had it. So I wasn't really thinking too much of it because I still had body dysmorphia. Well, lo and behold, that man decided to randomly sit beside me. Mind you, he didn't see me see him. He just randomly chose to sit beside me. So he sat beside me. He started chatting. Mind you, my friend is nowhere to be found. He hasn't seen her. He don't even know we're friends or nothing like that. So he sits down. He starts chatting with me, asking me about like my life, what I do. Like he just chatting it up real bad. And I'm like, dang, he really talking to me. But you know, I'm thinking too, like, where is my friend? Because she is taking forever to come back. So literally, I don't remember the text message, but at one point I text like, where are you at? Or she texts me or something like that because I'm really wondering where she at. She finally gets to the table. Soon as she gets to the table, he says, hey, we're gonna say Mallory. Hey, Mallory. And I'm like, oh, they know each other. And then she said, hey. And then he tells me, oh, I'll be right back to reconnect with you. I'm gonna go get my unlimited mimosas. So I'm like, okay, cool, respectfully, do you? You know, I don't know him yet or nothing like that. And then my friend Mallory presses me like, oh, what was y'all talking about? What was he talking to you about? Was he trying to talk to you? Like, she pressing me hard, and I'm like, I don't even know. I got body dysmorphia. I don't even know if he trying to talk to me or he just being nice to me. All right, he didn't ask for nothing. So I told her, I was like, I think so, but he didn't ask for my number. He didn't ask for nothing. Before we go outside, she says, oh, that is the guy that took me on a date that 3 years ago. His ex popped up and he kissed his ex in front of her and left her at the bar. I said, whoa, I don't even remember this story. Apparently she told me this story in college, right? Because this situation happened about, I say 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2+ years, probably 2.5. It's been a minute. So anyways, when she said that,
I'm sorry, if my friend tell me a story like that, I'm going to remember that story when she bring it up again. It's like, that's the person. I'm gonna be like, dang, because when you tell me a story, I want to put a face to a name. So once you finally put that face to a name, tell me, like, I'm gonna remember, like, oh, that's who you was talking about. Like, she didn't tell her.
When she said that they went on a date 3 years prior to that, I had not remembered her telling me that situation, but apparently she told me that situation. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. If he tries to,
because she didn't.
He tries to talk to me, I will dead it. Like, I won't talk to him. Respectfully, you're my best friend. So when we get outside, he comes back. He's pretty ballsy. This man don't give a, okay, he is Scorpio. He don't give no. He comes back after he found out that is my friend. He didn't know that was my friend, but now you know that's my friend and you took my friend on a date. Then you came back to me And when we was outside in front of my friend, mind you, my friend was there and a couple other girls. Those two girls walked away. My friend walked away and left me there by myself with light skin, right? He literally tells me, oh, like, I want to talk to you, I want to take you on a date, blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, like, my friend told me that y'all had a situation, y'all went on a date, and you did her so wrong. You're wrong for that. Like, you really are wrong for that. And then he's like, yeah, I was a different person, like, I need to apologize, I need to apologize. I'm like, yes, you need to apologize, but it's nothing gonna happen with me and you. Like, that's my best friend. Y'all, he went to try to apologize. She didn't want the apology. She kind of was over it. She came back to me. I told her I dubbed it. He did ask me on a date, but I said no, nothing, no concerns, right? We moved to the next spot. This man so happens to come to the next spot. We went to the breakfast, I think it's called a breakfast bar in Minnesota. We were smoking hookah, all that stuff. We got into a section. Some other guys invited us to a section, which when I was plus size, I wasn't even getting invited to sections like that, okay? So anyways, like, I was, but from my female friends, but not from guys. These guys took us to breakfast bar and put us in this section with them, right? Boom, we in the section. Light skin ends up coming to breakfast bar. He ends up coming by the section, trying to dance by me, and I'm like, no, really disrespectful, because my best friend was right there. By the time we leave, I end up going on Hinge at one point, and he ends up liking me on Hinge. So I'm like, how did this man find me on Hinge? Like, it was some days after the situation, so I screenshotted it and I sent it to my best friend at the time, just to tell her, like, girl, like, this man up here trying to like me on Hinge to the left, like, just so she could know. I don't know, y'all can tell me if that's wrong, but I was trying to tell her, like, he's trying to, like, low-key like me on Hinge, but I'm not going. So that's practically what I did, was send her that. And she was like, oh, he wants you real or bad. So I just put the laughing emoji. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's a joke. Like, I'm thinking, like, we both, I don't know, he's a freaking a-hole. We don't give a right. But I learned that was the first thing that affected our friendship, because before, when I was plus size, I was not pulling the same type of guys that she was pulling. Like, she really liked light-skinned pretty boys, and I wasn't attracting those type, and I didn't really find that as my type because I wasn't attracting them. So this part one, y'all gotta go to part two to understand what situations start to happen between us that started causing even more problems. I lost my best friend of over 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend, the duff. So we're going to talk about this, y'all. This is part two. So if you haven't watched part one, go ahead and watch part one. All right. So, y'all, after the brunch situation happened with me and her, of me attracting the same man that she attracted in the past, that took her on a date and left her on the date and kissed his ex on the date, y'all gotta go watch that part one. All right, after I end up attracting that same guy, he tried to talk to me and I dubbed him. I didn't realize that was it affected our relationship. So after that happened, I remember she wanted to do weight loss coaching with me. Mind you, I had lost 158 pounds. I was 326 pounds at one point. I don't think she ever thought I was going to get smaller than her. And when she realized I was getting smaller than her, it was making her feel a certain way. So at this point, she ended up signing up for weight loss coaching with me. At this time, I was still new, so I was doing free clients.
What kind of friends that don't celebrate their friend accomplishment, especially if she knew that this type of stuff bothered you, that you're, bigger weight? Like, what? These people finding friends at Amazon or something.
I was trying to build my portfolio, so I have before and after pictures. So I was asking people I knew if they wanted to do the coaching, or they were asking me. So at this point, she wanted to work with me. I said, okay, cool, perfect, let's do this. I won't charge you, but you have to let me use before and after pictures. So she agreed to this, but she wasn't doing any of the stuff that she was supposed to do with the weight loss coaching. And she also was questioning if I was even certified. When I told her, oh, I got certified in weight loss coaching, I finished my certificate, she was like, oh, that fast? And I'm like, yeah, and she literally questioned if I was, I guess, certified to teach her, when I'm teaching you for free, first of all. I told her before, I said, oh, I would love to be 150 pounds. I would love to be 150 pounds because before my first goal weight was to be 250. I used to think 250 was skinny. So once I got way below 250, I was like, oh, I want to be 150. You know how you just move your goal? And she gaslit me to think that 150 was too small. She was like, oh, when I was 150, I was just very like skinny. I was too scrawny. Like I didn't look right. I looked sick and all that. Like 150 is too small. And I was like, oh, well, that's like supposed to be my weight for my BMI because I'm 5'6". So that's like an ideal weight for me. And she's like, BMIs are made up and blah, blah, blah. She like started dragging it. So I'm like, maybe 150 is too small. I ain't never been 150. So I was like, maybe you're right. Shit, I'm just learning things right now. Like at that time, y'all, I was literally, I think at that time was around 180. I wasn't even at my lowest that I am now. So she literally was like dragging it and I'm like, dang. No, I think at that time it was 170 something, I don't know, but I was smaller than her, but I was not 150. So I was like, okay, maybe you're right, maybe 150 too skinny. So y'all, lo and behold, she puts down her goal weight, and why her goal weight like 148. So that kind of blew me. So it's like, you don't want me to be 150, but you want to be below 150. Like that, mind you, at this time, she was doing weird stuff. So I started just taking notes of it because people be saying I'm crazy because I'm intuitive. I already knew she was acting weird. But I was like, no, let me take notes and jot down the things she started doing. So that was one thing. One day we went to Lululemon, and we're gonna name her Mallory because that's the name I put from the first one. Me and Mallory went to Lululemon, and I was showing her the little crop jackets that I like now. You know, now that I can fit Lululemon, I started wearing the crop jackets, and she tried it on and she was like, oh, it just doesn't look right on me, my shoulders, it just looks better on your shoulders. And she would compare herself to me, and I'm like, girl, like you're fine, like you look fine. Mind you, I used to be big, girl, like you're small. Like what are we chatting about? Like you're a mid-sized girl, what are we chatting about? Like I used to be morbidly obese. So these little things were happening, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna drag it. Like, you know, she would kind of get weird with me. Like I remember one time we went to an eating event because she was in a certain industry, everything involved food, and I told her like, oh, like I've been eating out all week because I came from a vacation or something, and we went to a wine fest or something, and I was like, I don't want to be eating too much stuff. She's like, it's just one day, it's just one day, you can eat. So I was like she just started changing. Like she came from like this super nice person to like this kind of like rude person to me, like for no reason. So y'all, I started noticing these things, and then when we would go out, I started to notice that guys would flock to me only, and it started to eat her pride alive. So one night in specific, we went, after that situation happened with light skin, he tried to talk to me. Now this next situation, I was at the bar, and at this bar, y'all, I feel like it's gonna overheat. Hold on. So y'all, we go to this bar. There's about 3 dudes there. When I'm there, I'm telling her, because every time we started to go out, once I lost weight, she started to be like looking angry. Every time we go out, she'll just sit there like this. Like she didn't want nothing to do with nobody. She didn't want to dance. And mind you, before when I was plus size, she was my twerk buddy. Like we're dancing, we're twerking, we shaking our tables on the floor, all of that, right? So I was like, this is kind of weird. Every time we go outside, she not trying to be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like she looked stuck up and angry. So I start getting approached every time we go out. I remember literally we went to Breakfast Bar. That was my spot, y'all. So we went to Breakfast Bar this one day, and there was multiple guys there, right? Because they was in some type of fraternity from Houston type. So I was telling her, because I was seeing the girls dance with the guy and all that, and he was like doing his thing and all that. I'm like, girl, you should go up there, you should dance with him, you should dance with him. She was like, I'm not dancing with him, I'm not dancing with him. Like, you can dance with him. And I'm like, oh, okay, like shoot, I will, because I like to have a good time. So y'all, I started dancing with him, and it started getting wild already. Y'all know how the fraternity like be doing, yes, because I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I ended up doing that, y'all. And then the other 2 guys that was with him, they were like over by the table. So when she asks, okay, like my drink, oh, when I was dancing with the one frat guy, my drink spilled. So his friend was like, oh, let me get you another drink because my homie spilled your drink. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so I get a free drink. Mind you, my friend Mallory is used to getting free drinks and stuff like that. I don't think he bought her a free drink. So that probably like irritated her spirit. At this time, I didn't know she had low self-esteem issues because when I was big, that was never her thing. So he got me a drink. Then his other homie was there, and my friend was like, oh, Mallory was like, oh, I want to talk to him. I'm like, oh, girl, go ahead. Talk to him. Like, talk to him or whatever. She goes to talk to him, and then she comes back to me and was like, oh, he said he want to talk to you. And I'm like, what you mean, like, talk to me? Like, what? Because you see, I just danced with your homie. What do you mean, talk to me? Like, I'm thinking, like, what do you mean, talk? And she's like, and I'm like, so I'm like, what's going on? So I was like, let me actually go talk to him. Like, I'm not thinking he really trying to talk to me in that type of way. Like, I was drunk, y'all. So I go talk to him like, oh, what's going on? She's saying like, you want to talk to me about something or something. And then he was like, and he got quiet and he got awkward. I said, what happened here? I don't know what y'all was talking about. So that night it got very weird. So there was another guy in the section in another place, and she was like, oh, he's cute, da da da. I'm like, well, talk to him. Like, nobody was talking to her because I think she was having a stank attitude. She's a beautiful girl. Like, I think her energy was just off. So she's like, oh no, he should come over. I keep seeing him look at us. But he won't talk to us. Like, and I'm like, well, shit. I mean, not that serious. So after the bar, y'all, the guys was like, oh, y'all should come to our hotel. Y'all should hang out with our hotel. Da, da, da. And she was like, oh, like, we should go to their hotel. You want to go to their hotel? And I'm like, hell no. Why would I want to go to their hotel? If you ain't trying to crack it open like a crab, why are we going to some man's hotel? No gracias. There's 3 dudes, and why are we going to their hotel? So I was like, no, I'm good. Let's get out here. She's like, you don't want to go?
Like a crab took me out, y'all. I'm sorry, but let's get back to her story.
And I'm like, is you cool? Because she never act like this before. So we get out of the bar, y'all, and the guy that I was dancing with, he ended up hugging me goodbye. I ended up hugging him goodbye. He ended up lifting me up in the air and like just bouncing me up in the air, y'all. I didn't ask for him to pick me up. He picked me up, but that was my second time getting picked up around her, and I gotta talk about the last time I got picked up around her, like, for no reason. So at this point, she's like, let's go to Pizza Luce. She loved Pizza Luce. Whatever, let's go. So we get there, and she starts telling me about how she keeps going out and she feels worse and worse about herself every time she goes out now. Nothing's out there for her. And that is when I learned that she was envious of the attention I was getting, because she was used to attention when I was big, and now that I got small, I was the one getting all the attention. Y'all, we got more to this story. Go to part 3.
She definitely was jealous.
I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. So y'all, this is part 3. If you are not caught up, go watch part 1 and part 2. So y'all, that night we ended up going to Pizza Luce's. After all that happened, when all them guys was on my body, we went to Pizza Luce's after. And when we got there, she practically was telling me, my best friend was like, oh, every time I go out, I feel worse and worse about myself. There's nothing out here for me and all that stuff. So I was like, oh girl, don't feel like that. Every time you go out, you don't have to meet a guy. It doesn't have to be about finding a man. Like, you could just go have fun. And I was used to her being the fun friend, but every single time we start going out after I lost weight, I was never having fun with her. Even on my birthday, y'all, when we went out for my birthday, I was dancing with my other friend. We're gonna name my other friend Nancy, because she needs a name in this part. So Nancy, I was dancing with Nancy the whole time and twerking with Nancy, but Mallory, which is the friend, my best friend of 13 years, Mallory was just sitting there like not wanting to dance. And I would tell her like, come on, let's go dance and stuff. She's like, But mind you, Mallory used to be the type to be like, okay, let's twerk, we outside. Like, it was just different. So I'm like, okay, girl, you do you. The one thing about me, y'all, is when I drink, I can meet random people and I'll start dancing with random girls. I'll start smacking random girls. Girl, I'll be outside having fun. So that's why I was like, oh girl, cool. You want to sit there and be depressed? You be sitting there and be depressed. So I started to feel like a distance between her, because she was comparing herself to me weight wise. She was being weird every time we would go out, and she low-key was like stank looking at me a lot. So I was like, you're weird. So I started distancing myself from her, but before I started distancing myself from her, I had told her that I was going to be performing at a poetry night. So I told her one time I was going to perform at this poetry night, and it was going to be my first performance ever, and it was some deep stuff I was going to perform. I wrote poems about my life and my trauma and the things I've been through as a child. And when the day came for me to perform, my best friend at that time, Mallory, DM me and was like, oh, I'll see you tonight, I'll be there, boo. And I was like, dang, she remembered, because I started feeling in my spirit I did not want her to go. Like in my stomach, in my gut, I was feeling anxious. I'm like, I don't want her to go. I don't feel like it's right. I don't think I should be around her. And so at this point, it was already too late. Mind y'all, also, I believe in psychics, okay? I had a psychic already told me that this girl, specifically my best friend Mallory, that I should stop hanging out with her, period. And I never told the psychic about her. She was just like, whoever you hanging out with tonight, you need to not be hanging out with her no more, or God gonna show you. Mind y'all, when my psychic told me that, that was the night that all that stuff happened at the bar, where she started saying she feel worse and worse about herself every time she goes out. Nobody wants her. That was the night I was not supposed to go out with her, but I still did. And then the poetry thing happened after that. So she said, I'm gonna be there, boo. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, because she don't ever call me boo, but cool. I was like, I already kind of invited her. So y'all, we get there. And another thing that my psychic told me is that she thinks that I work for her, like, or I'm like one of her, she couldn't explain it, but like kind of below her. And I was like, whoa, like, I never noticed that. I don't think I noticed that. You know, I was being very like delusional, because I didn't want to see it, because this was my best friend for 13 years. So I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm still gonna see through with my friend, I don't care. So y'all, we get there, and you got to write down I forgot the prompt. The prompt is like something about what is something that like bothers you, or if it makes you feel bad about yourself, or something like that, something in the sense of that, something deep. We get the prompt, and she asked me, oh, can you go get me a pencil or whatever? And I'm like, oh, sure, you know, no problem, because I had to go get me a pencil too, so I didn't think nothing of it. But then she was like, oh, I bring back the pencil, and I'm like, I'm about to go get a drink real quick at the little bar. And she was like, oh, and while you're over there, can you take a picture of the menu for me and bring it back? Mind you, she's sitting here, the bar is like right there, and I'm like, and it's like a little not hood, but it's like a little small poetry open mic. Why you need to see the menu, girl? Go up there and order your drink. But I was like, oh, girl, I don't really think they have a menu, but if they do, I sure, you know. So I start clocking this, that she's asking me to get her pencil or her paper, like I'm her servant. She's telling me to go take a picture of the menu so she can order a drink. And the way she was saying it was just really weird. Like, oh yeah, and can you take a picture of it? And that's how she was saying it, and looking like this. I'm like, okay, cool. So I take a picture, because I was like, oh, at first I was like, oh, I don't even think they have a menu here. Like, she's like, I don't know, I think I've seen one. So, bitch, if you've seen it, why would you go up there and just order your fucking... So I was like, okay, bitch, she's being weird. But I was like, all right, I don't care. I took a picture, I brought it back to her, and I had said something, and referring to my nails at the time, y'all, duck nails were in, and I said, oh yeah, my butterflies or something like that. And she said, oh yeah, I seen your nails, they're chunky. Mind you, she had never come for me before or anything like that. I was like, oh, did she call my nails chunky? So like, she already trying to fuck up my night before I'm even performing. She knows I'm performing this night. So I was like, weird. I see the camera guy, right? Is this camera guy, whatever, he got the camera. I'm like, oh, he got like, yo, you know, me and my friend Nancy comes too, y'all. Nancy also comes to the poetry night because she's performing as well. So I said, oh, he's kind of cute, da, da, da. And then that's when Mallory, my ex-best friend, was like, oh, I think he's cute too. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, like, I don't care. Like, she literally started seeing me like as competition. So I'm like, that's weird behavior. So then me and Nancy end up like having a conversation about something, because she was kind of finding one of the people attractive there. So she was like, oh yeah, this person, I'm like, oh yeah, go. So me and Nancy are talking back and forth to each other, and Mallory's like right here, and we're talking across Mallory. So Mallory's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then she pushes herself away and then walks away and goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, what is that about? Like, why do you have to be extra? Then, at this point, my friend Nancy was going to go up to perform. She performed. She performed after me. So let me talk about my performance, y'all. So I go up there and I perform, and I'm performing some deep stuff, like about my childhood trauma, about like how I grew up, all the bad things that happened to me that my best friend never even knew. Nobody in my life knew about besides my close knit family. Like, yeah. So I started talking about all this trauma in my poem, and it was deep poems, and something told me to not have her record. Y'all, I have to try to find the recording, and maybe I'll put it in the next part. But the record, like, something told me not to have her record. But she asked, oh, do you want me to record? I had my camera set up, y'all, my vlogging camera, because I do YouTube. So I had my vlogging camera set up, and so I was recording myself that way. And then she had my phone. When I tell you, when I went back to go look at the video, it was so pixelated. Looks like it was shot off of iPhone 12. Like, it was so, and she's a perfectionist. This is a content creator. So when I seen that she filmed me on purpose, very blurry, I was like, wow. Like, this girl is straight up envious and jealous of me. Like, she's vindictive. Like, she talked about my nails. She tried to make my video bad. She tried to make my whole performance day very bad. Then she went to go try to say, oh, Nancy, I can record you. Because I took my phone out and I was recording Nancy's performance. Because that's what I usually do. Me and Nancy always go and do open mics together. So I pull out my phone to record Nancy. And Mallory tells Nancy that, oh, I can record you. As soon as she seen me starting to record. And so Nancy was like, okay. So it was like she was in a competition to record Nancy. I'm like, I don't care. Like, girl, record Nancy. Shit, I don't care. So I'm like, she is really weird. Like, this was my last straw with her, because I'm like, you're being very weird. So she records Nancy, and then she's like, oh yeah, I got a good one. I got all the like, and she was being like dramatic like this, like, but you weren't doing that for me. Then the next day she had the nerve to comment on Nancy's Instagram like, oh, you did great last night, or you did so amazing. But she has never ever commented on any of my Instagram posts, plus size or non-plus size. Now this give me heated, y'all. Go to part 4 for the final part. I lost my best friend of 13 years because I was no longer the fat friend. All right, y'all, this is part 4. This is the final part. Okay, so yeah, y'all, we were at the open mic. She was doing all this weird behavior. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead to watch part 1, part 2, part 3 and clock back in. So anyways, y'all, she was doing all this weird stuff against me at my performance. I was there performing poetry. We had to do a prompt where we write down what's something that kind of makes us feel bad or upsets us or whatever that we are dealing with. And so she had wrote down that one thing that really like upsets her is rejection. She cannot take rejection, and she feels really bad about herself when she feels rejected. So I was like, whoa, I had never known that about her before. And when she said that, and seeing the sadness and stuff in her eyes when she said it, it made me understand why she started treating me differently after I lost 158 pounds, because she started getting rejected by all of the guys that she would usually want to date. She also was getting rejected in a sense by me in some sorts, because I wouldn't want to go to certain events. I wouldn't want to eat certain things. But the biggest part was she started feeling insecure about herself because she was getting rejected from guys. So that had pieced all the things together for me of why she was treating me so poorly, why she was very vindictive and envious of me, was because she was feeling less than, and she was feeling rejected. So by the end of the night, me, Mallory, and Nancy take a picture together. Mallory is my old best friend of 13 years. When I went back and looked at the picture that we took together, I could just see in Mallory's eyes just nothing but darkness. Like nothing but darkness, sadness, and depression. And when I seen her in that picture, I was like, this doesn't even look like my best friend of 13 years. Like, I can't even recognize her. Like, she looks just so unhappy. And I did know in those times that she was going through some stuff family wise, and that's why I let a lot of stuff in the beginning of the story slide, because I understood, my lifestyle changed. Maybe I can't do all the things that you love that I used to do all the time, like go out to eat with you 24/7, and I'm changing. Maybe you are going through family stuff, so let me try to like see it through and try to just give you the benefit of the doubt. But after the night when she talked about my nails and calling them chunky and recording me like poorly on purpose and commenting on my friend's picture but not commenting on my picture, like literally coming against me and like literally being vindictive, I was like, I cannot trust this girl. So the biggest thing with me, y'all, I'm a Pisces. Once I can't trust you, I can't fuck with you. No matter if I can try to forgive you and get past it, once I don't trust you, we can no longer be friends. I don't care if we've been friends for 20,000 years. We will not be friends no more, because I don't even want to be around you, because what's the next thing you gonna do when you feeling bad about yourself? So at this point, y'all, what I did, I was feeling down after the poetry night, because the poetry night stopped being about my first performance and me finally doing something I used to be scared of, me finally telling and speaking my story in front of the people that I don't even know. It turned into a night all about her and me feeling bad about, dang, like I'm really losing my friend, and this person is not who I thought she was, and she only really liked me because I was big and I made her ego. I literally filled her ego, because when she was around me when I was plus size, no men were coming up to me and talking to me when we were out and about. No men was buying me free drinks. A lot of men were not even paying attention to me. And now that I had lost weight, all the men were paying attention to me. All the men were buying me free drinks. And she started to feel bad about herself because I was her ego boost, which I did make a poem about her that I didn't know the whole time I was my best friend's ego boost, because I was fat. So anyways, after this night, I went and I jot down in my journal every single thing she done to me. And I probably didn't even put everything in this story, because this happened like 2+ years ago. But I wrote down every single thing, and I texted her and I told her like, hey, we need to like sit down and like have a conversation, because like I feel like there's stuff that's been weird going on between us and da da da. So we ended up deciding, instead of sitting down in person, let's talk on the phone. We talk on the phone and I tell her like, hey, like you've been doing a lot of weird things to me lately, and then I list everything she's done to me, the things she said to me, the way she's act towards me, and I like broke it all down. And I know it's not right to just unload everything on people at the like last minute, but sometimes I don't want to start problems, or I want to also see the full picture before I start making assumptions, and then it's too late for me, because once you do weird stuff to me, I cannot ride with you. Like, it's no coming back from it. It's just you're weird and stay in that weird place. Like, that's your character. If it's something small you can work on, but your character is flawed, you're insecure, you don't feel good about yourself, you can't be around people that feel good about themselves. You have to work on yourself. So anyways, I went through the whole list, and she starts crying on the phone. She starts crying and crying and crying and apologizing and saying she's sorry she's made me feel that way, and she's been in a bad place lately, and like things has been going on with her, and she feels really bad that she's treated me like this and all this stuff. And I started feeling bad for her, because I never seen my friend cry. And you know what I'm saying? This is my best friend for over 13 years. I don't even know how many years, but I think it's way over 13 years. So I'm like, my heart, because I am a person that tries to help fix people. That was me when I was plus size. I was trying to fix people and be people's therapist, and I almost fell back into that mode of like, maybe I shouldn't leave my friend high and dry when she's going through all these family problems, and maybe I should be understanding. And so I told her, I was like, okay, like I get you are going through stuff, maybe I can help you through it, maybe like I'm also not being a good friend, maybe I need to. And then I had to correct my behavior, and I decided, after we had that conversation, we said we were going to sit down in person and try to maybe be more intentional with our time, and you know, and I was going to try to help her through her problems. Like, I'm a fucking therapist, what's wrong with me? I don't know. But I ended up texting her probably about a few days later, and I told her I decided actually I will no longer be able to be her friend. I don't want to essentially try to put myself in a situation where I'm trying to help her through her issues and it's going to hinder and hurt me. And I'm in a season in my life where I've been prioritizing myself, because my whole life I have prioritized other people's mental health over my own. I've been like that since a kid. I've always took on everybody's problems, and that's what made me morbidly obese in the first place, because I was coping with food. I had a lot of trauma, and I'm not going to let my friend put me back in a traumatic space and me start taking and consuming her energy and her problems to make her feel better. And then again, that's me again working for her. So the whole time my friend saw me as below her. She probably never knew that until I lost weight. Then she started to probably see her actions, but she was comfortable with me because she felt like I was below her. Once she saw that I lost more weight than the weight she was at, it made her feel like I was a threat. It made her feel like I was getting all the attention. It made her feel rejected, and that is why she was being vindictive against me. And I know we were friends for a long time, but I am a true believer that if it's a character flaw, we can't work on that together. And if that's something you're going through, you have to work on yourself. I'm a big believer people can change, but people need to change on their own, and they need to change by themselves. So yeah, y'all, that's how our friendship ended. After that text message, I never talked to her again. I also forgot to mention, y'all, during that whole time, she stopped, once I started losing weight, she stopped liking my TikToks, stopped liking my Instagram posts. Like, she was clearly being a hater. And I can't be around people that are haters, jealous, vindictive. Once you start doing stuff, when you start talking about me, saying my nails were too chunky and trying to record me poorly and try to tell me to go get you stuff, like, once you start trying to, like, be vindictive towards me, then that's a problem. If you're just sad and depressed and whatever, cool. But if you start trying to comfort me, you gotta go, because I can't trust you. So yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thoughts was of this story time to everybody that made it through.
Yeah, I don't need to say much to respond to this, because at the end, even in the middle of her story, she was basically thinking the stuff that I was thinking. I feel like that girl found a heavier person just to boost her ego up, just to feel good about herself. But in all naturality, she had low self-esteem, and she didn't want to see nobody else win. And at this point, you don't need to be friends with that person. And I'm glad that her eyes opened and realized, I wish it would have been sooner, but realized that this girl was holding her back and she was not really her friend. Because why, if your friend trying to lose weight, you instantly trying to get them to continue to go out to eat all the time with you, knowing that it's easy for you to eat and not gain weight, but it's harder for your friend knowing she trying to lose weight. Like, at that point when she told me that, I knew for a fact that this girl had low self-esteem about herself, and she just wanted to hang with people to boost her own ego up in the group. Who want a friend like that? I'm glad she cut her off. I'm glad she realized quickly, well, technically not quickly, she realized after she lost weight, but she should have realized sooner. But I'm glad that she finally realized, because these type of people that really envy you will do damage in the long run. And not only that, I cannot stand when people use their trauma, the drama, family issues as an excuse to be mean to somebody else that's not even like being mean to you, that's literally trying to be there for you, wipe your tears, hear what you have to say, give you motivation and positive energy. And just because somebody in your family made you mad, or you going through a hard time, you decide the person's close to you to be mean to and get nails. Like, the whole situation was real childish. It sounded like the girl was in fucking elementary school and she started hanging with people to boost her ego up. Like, this sound like elementary school drama, but you're a grown adult still acting like a child. But I'm glad that she saw what she needed to see and cut the whole situation off, because you recording you let her record you was a definitely mistake. In your first performance doing poetry, she want to record you all bleary, but this is her profession. Yeah, that night it would have been no more conversations, because girl, what you trying to do? at this point, what are we doing as friends? Ain't no more conversation after that situation would have happened. Cause why my video blurry? Why my pictures blurry? But y'all, drop in the comment section what you think about this story. Like, comment, definitely subscribe to this channel and join the family. Hype me up. Hit the subscribe button, y'all. Hit the subscribe button. If you are returning, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Hype me up. Like, comment, and share. If you like drama, if you like tea, heck, if you just like to hear somebody else's story, this is the channel for you. I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.